Now, it was a video that went viral and a punishment that was widely condemned when footage emerged of Palestinian teenager Ahed Timi slapping and kicking an Israeli soldier in the occupied West Bank. She was later imprisoned. She was 16 at the time, and children are protected by international law from imprisonment. Well, she's now been released. The Israeli authorities have confirmed she served an 8-month sentence. These are live pictures from the West Bank as Taimi, now 17 years old, makes her way slowly towards her home, where she was filmed slapping that soldier and later arrested. It's quite normal for Palestinian prisoners to literally be released at the security control point and then allowed to just make their own way home, and it's very normal for huge crowds to greet them as they are released. Human rights groups, child rights groups condemned her imprisonment, not only as being against international law, but epitomising the treatment of Palestinian children by the Israelis, and said that her case epitomises the emotional damage to Palestinian children as well. She argued in court during her trial that she was angry and retaliating against the shooting of her 15-year-old cousin earlier that day by a rubber bullet, which hit him in the head. The Israelis said that they went to her home to stop teenagers throwing rocks at the Israeli Defense Force. So emotional scenes there in the West Bank as the teenager finally is reunited with her family. Nida Ibrahim from BBC Arabic is at a checkpoint in the West Bank where very close to where she's just been released. And I was just saying there that this video that went viral, which was released on her Facebook page, she wanted to make the point, led to her arrest, but also condemnation from the wider world.
Yes, indeed. Let me pick up about what you just said regarding that it's being normal for prisoners to be released at checkpoints or security points near the West Bank. What has been different this time is that the location of the release has been changed so many times. In the end, we were told that this would be one of the locations she would be released at. The family was waiting here, and all of a sudden a security jeep, an Israeli military jeep, came, and some people said they've seen her in it. So they followed her, not knowing where they are going actually, and then the jeep had stopped in the village of Nabi Saleh, which is the hometown of Ahed, where Ahed and also her mother Nariman Tamimi were released and are now being greeted by the family.
Yeah, we're still staying with the pictures of her being reunited with, I think it must be her mother and father and other family members. Very emotional scenes, 8 months without their daughter. But as I was also saying, this does epitomise the treatment of Palestinian children, which often leads to condemnation from child rights groups, including organisations like UNICEF as well. But Israel have their arguments. They say they have their reasons to treat children as adults when it comes to the justice system.
Absolutely. Palestinians live under the Israeli occupation, and thus they are being treated and just tried at military court, including minors. This has been also condemned by many human rights organizations, including Amnesty, who wanted to take the opportunity to point out that many other children, 300 Palestinian children, are being in Israeli jails as we speak. Many of them go in and out. Some of them are detained and released, while some serve prison time in there. So the family is trying to also to point out that this is not the only child. This may be a child that has gotten so much attention because, as you said, the video has went viral, but there are many other cases of children being tried in military court, in Israeli military courts.
Does Israel accept it's breaching international law that it has signed up to, that children should not be imprisoned, particularly in adult jails, or trialled in military courts? And if they do, what is their argument for doing that?
Mainly their argument is that somebody who slaps a child tomorrow can stab a knife in his a child who can slap a soldier today can hold a knife tomorrow. They think this is kind of stopping Palestinians from doing these acts. They said that many Israelis have argued that showing a child slapping a soldier can be showing a disrespect for Israel's army.
Nida Ibrahim, many thanks for that update. Much more on the BBC News website as well on the release of that teenager. No doubt get more reaction from her and her family as well. Just going to bring you some sport now.